All right, we're on section 3.6. Section 3.6 is the last section of the chapter. All right, so guess what that means? Test coming up. Yeah, probably next week. My guess is, I'm not positive, but my guess is I would say probably Thursday of next week. All right, so I'll give us a couple days to review, a few days to review actually, and let's see, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, we'll take the test on Thursday, do corrections on Friday, and we'll end the week like that. All right, so that's what we'll do. Let's take a look at this situation. This is actually, I think, it's very easy. Yeah. No, we just started. Let's make this in black. All right, here's a line right here, and let's say I put a point up here like this, and I asked you to find the distance between this point and this line, or just draw the line that represents the distance. Okay, not really find it because I don't know any numbers or anything like that. Okay, draw a line that represents the distance from this point right here to this line right here. So I put my pencil right here, and what do I do? Do I do that? Is that the distance from there to there? Right here? Is that what you're saying? Tell me when. Right in there. Now, let's have another word besides straight down. We're in geometry. We don't just say it's straight down. Let's give it a geometry word. It's not necessarily vertical. I'll show you why in a second. And it has nothing to do with slopes. Perpendicular. Yes, it's perpendicular. Look at this line, and look at this one right here. Yeah, you said straight down, but that's not really geometry enough for us. What do we say? If it's straight down, then what is it to it? It's perpendicular. It makes a right angle. Would you agree? Now, if I would just have this, is that the distance from the point to this line? Is it? Looking at it right there. Well, I'm not looking for actual number. I don't care about the actual numbers concerned. What did we just say? We said that if I drew a line from here, how to this line? Now you guys said straight down, but then I said what? Perpendicular. So right now, is this right here the distance between this point and this line?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No.
Somebody tell me.
I don't know.
What's different about this? Come on, think about it.
You don't know it's a nice angle.
You don't know it's a right angle. That's right. Look at it. You're just making assumptions about it, aren't you? You're just making an assumption that that's a right angle. You can't do that. You don't know that's a right angle. So can I say this? Can I say that this is the distance between this point and this line, the way it's written right now? Can I?
No.
You could say it. I mean, but could you say it correctly? No, you couldn't. So now, is this the distance between that point and this line right here? Yes, it is, because it's perpendicular. It's a 90-degree angle. It seems like I'm being a little picky on it, but I have to be. All right, you can't make any assumptions about it. You can't assume that that's a right angle unless they actually put a little box there where they tell you that that's a right angle. Does that make sense? Let's do another one. You guys said you were talking about vertical and all that kind of stuff. Well, it doesn't have to be vertical. Watch. What if I had something like this, and then I had a point out here? Make it a little bit thicker, about right there. I want to draw the distance. In fact, let's do it in a different color just so it's a little bit different. Okay, oops. I want to draw, or they use the word construct. Basically, that just means draw it, okay? Construct a segment. Are you listening to me? A lot of people looking around and not paying attention. Connor, up here. Pay attention. Okay, paying attention is not looking at the ground. All right, thank you. If I wanted to find the distance from this point to this line right here, what do I do? Do I draw it to here? Do I draw it to there? You guys said straight down. Do I draw straight down? Is that the distance? Okay.
Make it parallel.
Is it parallel? Is that the distance? Okay. That's okay. So make it what? Stop. I use that on you. It's not fair to use it on somebody else. All right. So is it in the middle?
I mean, it's like
That's not the middle.
it's not the middle.
It's close to perpendicular.
It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with being in the middle. Okay, it has nothing to do, because what is this thing? This is not just a line segment. It's a what? It's a line. Does a line really have a middle? No, it's not an angle. Watch. This thing right here, what I just drew with the arrows, what is that? It's a line. Okay, it's not an angle. I mean, it's just a straight line, right? So I'm not talking about middle. Did I mention middle in the other one before? I didn't mention middle at all. What did I mention, though? That this line has to be what to this line in order for it to be the distance? It's got to be perpendicular. So this right here is the distance between this point and this line. It has to be a what kind of a line, though? It's got to be perpendicular. It's got to be perpendicular to the other line that we're finding, okay? So if I have a point out here and I wanted to find the distance between this point and this line, I don't just draw any line from here to here or from here to here. I draw it so it's what? Perpendicular. Okay. Have I said that enough? Okay. Look at this. I just happen to have that sitting right there. All right. Look at this. This is what they're going to ask you to do. I'm going to give you a worksheet tonight. It's really easy. I'm telling you. If you know what you're doing, if you're listening and paying attention to me today, you could probably do this worksheet literally in about 2 to 3 minutes. There's no lie. Okay? So look at this. Shh. It's a lot of little comments. Okay? All these little comments are really starting to grate on my nerves. Okay? Don't need to hear them. They're not all that funny to begin with. All right? So let's just keep them to yourself and just listen to me. Let me say my piece. Okay? If you have a question, you can ask a question. All right? But I don't need all these little tiny comments here and there. It's just not contributing to what we're trying to do in here. Everybody understand that? Okay. Let's take a look at this. Here's what they're going to ask you to do on the worksheets. It's going to say construct the segment. That means just basically draw a line. You got it? Construct the segment that represents what? The distance. Remember, if I find the distance between a point and a line, it's got to be what? Perpendicular. Good. Draw or construct the segment that represents the distance from point A to line segment BC. So what you do is you come up here. Where's point A? It's right here. And we want to construct a segment that represents the distance from A to line BC. So where do we go? Do I draw it to C? Do I draw it to this? Do we say straight down, though? We don't say straight down. Come on. We've harped on that enough today to not say straight down. All right. But the point is, I've told you about 3 or 4 times today not to say straight down, didn't I? Okay, but we still say it. Why do we do that? We don't say straight down. We say perpendicular. Okay, we say perpendicular to that line segment. There you go. Now, am I done? Is that it? Is that the distance from point A to BC? Why? Good, draw the little 90-degree square thing, right? Okay, because I don't know that that's perpendicular. Kind of looks like it, doesn't it? All right, but it's not until I do what? Put a little box right there. Now, is this the distance from point A to line segment BC? It is. Let me show you. Watch this. Let me show you why I don't want you saying straight down. I mean, I've already showed you once, but I'm going to show you again. What if I said, instead of from A to BC, what if I change this and I said from B to AC? All right? If I said from B to AC. Now look, the whole reason I didn't want you just to say straight down is because if I go from here, do I just go straight down to get a distance to AC? No. Don't say straight across. Say I make a line segment that's what to line segment AC? Thank you. Perpendicular. All right? That right there would be your answer. And that's it. There's no math involved. There's no, adding or subtracting or anything like that. All it is just drawing. You got it? Notice how my lines, now I know I'm using this little nice computer program and stuff, but notice my lines are nice and straight. Well, you can do the same thing even with a pencil and a piece of paper. What would you do to get a nice straight line like this? Use a ruler, exactly right. Or we say use a straight edge. Okay, it doesn't have to be a ruler with the inches and centimeters and stuff. You can take anything that's straight, put it there, take your pencil, line it up, and get a straight line out of it. Okay, are you listening to me? So watch, let's go back to that first one again. From A to BC. This is what I do not want to see. I don't want to see this. That. Even if you put a right angle there. That looks sloppy. It looks ugly. There's no reason to do that. Okay? I want you to make a straight line. Alright? So use a straight edge. Use a ruler. Use something. Alright? That goes nice and straight. Alright? So it looks nice and pretty. And there we go. So I could do this. All right. See, that's what I mean by the little comments, Brett Netzer. Okay. So there you go. Does that make sense? So I go from here, it's a nice straight line, and that's all there is to it. I told you this is probably going to be one of the easiest lessons that you do all year. Was I right? Yeah, absolutely. That's all you got to do for these. They give you a bunch of different things. They're not all triangles. Sometimes they're different shapes. Okay, but that's what you do. You go from the point to the line segment. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot. I should have said this in the other class. So you get free stuff.
Yes.
Free information. All right. I should have said it in the other class. I just forgot. What if you had this? Watch. Let's pay attention now. Still got a few minutes left. Let's mark this. Let's call it ABC again, for lack of a better term. What if I said construct the segment from that represents the distance from point C to no, let's go from point A to A, or from if I could speak, from point B to line segment AC. All right, so from point B to line segment, what did I say? AC. All right, so let's make this red so it stands out a little bit. So what do? I go from B and I go to AC. So is it right there?
No.
Is it right there? Is it way out here? Where is it going to be? Right in the middle?
No.
Okay, behind it? Okay, I got extended. Good, that's what I wanted to hear. I have to extend. Watch, so that's not going to help me out. So what do I need to do? I need to extend this line out, don't I? Actually, I'll tell you what. Let's just do it like this.
Why don't you draw a straight line first and then just...
Watch. So, well, I'm just going to extend it first. All right? So I extended that out, didn't I? Now, guess what I can do? Now I can take this and make it perpendicular, right, to that part that's extended out. Put a little right angle there. If it doesn't have the right angle, it's wrong. Do you hear me? If you don't put the right angle, it's going to be wrong on a quiz or a test. So I want to see the right angle because I want to see that it's perpendicular. I'm not going to make any guesses about your line being perpendicular. Put the little right angle symbol, and that's perpendicular. Now, that's your answer. See everything in red right there? The little box, the line. Make sure you extend that side out. All right? That's your answer right there. So you can do that even if it's a even if it doesn't lie right on the triangle itself. Does it make sense? All right. That's enough. Let me give you a worksheet, and then that'll be for homework. By the way, I'm not going to be... Listen to me. Listen to me. Don't talk. Don't talk. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I'm shooting a wedding tomorrow. I'm actually taking a day off of school to go work. Okay? It's in Philadelphia, right. I told you about that already. It's in the Philadelphia Zoo. So anyway, so I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I know some of you guys aren't going to be here tomorrow, but make sure that you... I'll tell you what. Who's not going to be here? I got 1, 2, 3. I got a few. Tell you what. Let me write down... Let me write down. You can check on YouTube if you forget. Guys, don't leave. I haven't dismissed. Sit. Watch. This is tomorrow's lesson. If you're not going to be here tomorrow, it's still due on Monday, so you have no excuse. Now, for you guys that will be here tomorrow, this is what you're going to do in class tomorrow. All right? So you're doing 9 to 41. Watch. Omit. What does omit mean? What does it mean? Leave it out. Leave it out. Okay, so there it is right there. That's your homework.